1 from Illingdon Sports Centre. It is round 21 of NPL Men's New South Wales. Sydney FC, the home team tonight, and they welcome Sydney United 58. Sydney United with the cup final midweek next week, but no signs of a rotated team tonight. They're going full strength for this one as they try to keep pace. Not too far away from teams out onto the arena. You can see the referees at the edge of the tunnel there. It is round 21 of NPL Men's New South Wales. Sydney FC hosting Sydney United 58 in the sole Friday night game to get the round underway. And we'll have live commentary for you as soon as both teams make their way out onto the arena. Good evening from the Illingdon Sports Centre. NPL Men's New South Wales round 21 action, and it kicks off with cup final bound Sydney United 58 visiting Sydney FC. A match which will no doubt have keen eyes on it as far as both the title and top six race are concerned, and plenty of intrigue with Sydney United 58 in their lineup heading into tonight's clash, given that they do turn around midweek next week and play Apia Leichhardt in the Waratah Cup final. But tonight, the league is squarely in focus, and Teo Pellizzeri with you for this one. Sydney United kicking off the weekend in third place on the table, up against Sydney FC in seventh. And for Sydney United, nothing less than the 3 points will do as far as the pursuit of top spot in the table is concerned. They kick off on 44 tonight, behind Marconi on 46 and Apia on 48. So in previous weeks, a win would have been able to put them top before the others played. Tonight, they can only close it to 1 point at the top of the league. For Sydney FC, they have 28 points. They are 1 behind Sutherland on 29 and 3 behind Wollongong on 31. So they could leap up to as high as 5th tonight if they do win this match. Let's go to the teams. Sydney FC haven't updated in time for kickoff, but we'll do our best to tell you who's playing for them. Sydney United have made 3 changes to the team that played last weekend and enjoyed a 1-0 win against the SD Raiders. Goal scorer Leroy Jennings has been rewarded with a start alongside Adrian Vlastelica and also Kyle Chimenti. They come in to the starting lineup, moving Michael Krislovich to the bench, while there is no spot in the lineup for Michael Vlasic or Farakoko, who drop out altogether for tonight. Sydney United in the all-black are going to attack the left of your screens in this first half, while Sydney FC in the 2 blues are going to be attacking the right of your screens. Perfect conditions, not to jinx it, but it's mild and not a breath of wind here at Rockdale tonight for this contest. So Sydney United, to get us underway, it will be Kyle Chimenti kicking off here for the visiting team. So all in readiness for kickoff then. And round 21 starts with Sydney United 58 away at Sydney FC, and the ball driven out by Carlos de Oliveira from kickoff. When these two teams met back in round 6, it was Farakoko with a late goal who was able to secure a 1-0 win at the Sydney United Sports Centre. And Sydney FC here at home, they have proven themselves to be quite competitive against the top 3 on the table. They were able to beat Marconi 1-0, and they lost 2-0 to Apia Leichhardt here at Rockdale. So this is the final of the nominal top 3 teams that they will host this season, and we'll see how they go. Here's Marin France on the ball. And he distributes over to the right for Caelan Marshall-With. Back into defence for Reef Farias. Now Tay Headley. Sydney FC getting a feel for the ball. Not sure if it was immediately obvious on the screen there, but the wattage and the lights just got turned up significantly upon kickoff, so quite a brighter picture now under the artificial floodlights here at Rockdale. Sam Lancaster on the ball for Sydney FC. Now at the centre of defence is Ethan Dyer. Now Farias plays the ball to Mitch Glassy, making his return from suspension tonight. And in goal tonight, keeping the #1 job for the NPL team is Alexander Zavadinos. Consecutive starts for him. Farias. Here's Ozanic for Sydney United. They've watched Sydney FC knock the ball around for the first minute here, and consolidating possession is Lachlan Middleton, playing it back to his goalkeeper. Here is Middleton. He ignored the option of Miles Milner over on the left flank. Back to Farias, being chased by Carlos de Oliveira. Trying to hold him off with the tenacity of de Oliveira, and he's able to just put off Farias and force an error to put the ball out. So the full United lineup: Adam Pavlicic in goal, 3 Bailey Rule, 4 Adrian Vlastelica, 6 Dylan Rose, 7 Leroy Jennings, 9 Kyle Chimenti, 10 Carlos de Oliveira, 14 Liam McGing, 21 Koya Nakano, 23 Mason Wells, and 35 is Tomislav Ozanic. And on the bench for Sydney United, second goalkeeper Adrian Jamie Bazina, Anthony Tomilich, Tomoki Wada, Gabriel Tillo, Anthony Krilich, Michael Krislovich, and Nicholas Partesian. Now Vlastelica throws the ball over to Liam McGing, his fellow centre-back. And it's out to the right side, and Bailey Rule Slightly underhit pass, creating a contest, but the flag was up for offside regardless. So the attack breaks down there. Marshall Witt plays it to Headley, meeting the sandwich, caught in a 1-on-2. Jennings, deflected pass though to Lancaster, naturally a left footer, and he feeds the ball over to that flank where Mary France couldn't bring Miles Milliner into play. He's desperately trying to backtrack here, and Jared Middleton comes across and pops the ball out for a throw in. So it looks like it's just the one change to the Sydney FC lineup from last week's team. They're 3-2 winners away to the Wollongong Wolves, with Mitch Glasson coming into the starting lineup for Zach Fowler. We'll get through the 11 in just a moment. Here's a long attempt which is going to be hooked out with the aid of a deflection. Yes, appeals to the central referee are heeded, and a corner is the result. So a first set piece of the night. Sydney FC, for an A-League academy, do have some pretty good aerial players of their own, but no doubt the height advantage is with Sydney United tonight. So, first corner of the game coming up for Sydney United. A high-end swinger to the back post and a two-grab claim from Zavadinos, who's able to rake it in. No one really challenging him there in the air for the ball. And no thoughts of launching a quick counter-attack as Glasson went sprinting up to the point of the attack, but the ball wasn't to follow. Here's Dyer playing the ball to Lancaster. Plenty of patience here from Sydney United. Dyer, Marshall Witt, Farias. Long ball from Farias, looking for the run of Caleb Marshall Witt. He's going to get to the ball before the line, cuts it across. McGing in position, but the pass nearly gifted the ball to Tay Headley. Pastelitza was in the right position to come in and clear the ball away. And now Ozanic brings the ball to ground. Inside Dylan Rose up against his former team. Of course, he was still in the Sydney FC Academy last season. That pass to give away. Half volleyed out to right back by McGing. And now Rule over the flank, and Sydney United able to consolidate possession thanks to Mason Wells feeding the ball back. Pastelitza is going to send the ball to Koyanakano now, and he's looking for the run of Jennings, the speedster. Marshall Witt has lost the ball between his feet, but is able to steady and clear. Glasson is target. Pastelitza stopped the ball from ever arriving. Rule back to McGing. Making position over on the wing is Wells. John Vera wants the short pass, but that's great defending from Milliner to come in and win the ball away. Can he turn defence into attack? He can't, because the pass is well read. Ozanic now, a cool head, the youngster, having a breakout first season of senior football in NPL men's, is able to consolidate. Scooped on by De Oliveira. Rule made a contest in the air. Some shouts for a foul, but Mason Wells will take possession one-on-one. He burns past at the byline, and a deflected cross goes out for a corner kick. And Mason Wells, we know what a danger he is, the left footer playing over on the right wing. And he was nearly away in a flash there, some desperate backtracking to turn the ball behind for a corner. So, second corner of the night. Ball retrieved from the warm-up area behind the goal. And Mason Wells, having put a fairly teasing corner in with his first delivery of the game, which was grabbed uncontested. Now he has a congested 6-yard box to aim for. Wells in swinger to the near post. Nakano looking for the flick on. It wasn't on goal though, and cleared away. Sydney FC reorganising behind the ball as Wool tries to keep the tempo high. De Oliveira now to Jennings. Jennings can turn and face. De Oliveira continued his run. Pass looking for Razanic. Glasson has possession for Sydney FC. Turns away from the challenge of Rose, and Razanic comes through and wins the ball. And now here goes Jennings. It's Jennings wants his right side, and the Sydney FC defence won't let him have it as Lancaster puts the ball behind for a corner kick. Third of the night now coming up for Sydney United. It's going to be Carlos De Oliveira to take the corners from the left side, at least to start the night. 5 goals in the league this season, 4 in the cup. So he's one away from double figures for the campaign, the attacking midfielder. But he's trying to turn provider here. Here's the corner from De Oliveira. To the near post, it's allowed to bounce in the 6-yard box, and it's sliced back out from whence it came, and now only out for a throw in, but that corner got the better of everyone. Here's Nakano, and now Rhodes. Bailey Rule. Ball to the left, and Marshall Witt rises up to head away. Jennings to keep the ball under pressure from Headley. Throw in will go Sydney United's way. Against the line. And at last a goal kick. So the full Sydney FC lineup. Alexander Zavadinos in goal wearing number 30. 3 Reef Farias, 4 Caelan Marshall Witt, 8 Sam Lancaster, 10 Tay Headley, 14 Jared Middleton, 19 Mitch Glasson, 16 Miles Milliner, 18 Ethan Dyer, 27 Lockie Middleton, and 33 Marin France. Here's Farias. Down by Glasson to his team's advantage. Back to Nakano. Dangerous pass across the defence. France was nearly in to nick it away. Forced a hurried pass from McGing, which Middleton can seize upon. The build-up continues with Milliner. He's face away from the goal. Sydney want to attack, but it's good confidence on the ball there from Dyer. Trying to go on a mazy run here. Ethan Dyer leaves the ball with Middleton. Knocked back inside for France. Full-blooded slide challenge comes through from Jennings. And you heard the cries of protest from Sydney FC. They've got a free kick in shooting range. And perhaps their first meaningful attack of the night on the way as a result. Referee Ivica Kovic, no hesitation, paying the free kick there. So, Marin France and Tay Headley, the 2 players, standing over the dead ball here. Perfect position for a right footer. Goalkeeper Adam Pavlicic has organised his wall. Looks as though it is going to be Marin France to strike the free kick into said wall, which was able to block and repel, and then the clearance away from McGing. Got jumped into for his trouble. And it will be a free kick as a result. So the first noteworthy chance of the night for Sydney FC comes to naught, and United can resume control for a bright opening couple of minutes from Sydney FC knocking the ball around. United have had the better of the opportunities so far. Here come the home team into the game now. Lancaster's pass to the edge of the box where Tay Headley wasn't quite able to give Lustovitz the slip. It was rolled out to Nakano. Kozanic and Jennings. De Oliveira. Nakano hard against the line. Kozanic. Lancaster. Farias goes above Chimenti. Find a way through. Middleton. Dispossessed here. Oh, Nakano strikes it into his own teammate, but McGing follows up. Kozanic, the unfortunate party there, who had the ball just cleared into him at close range. Slip in midfield, opens the door for Bailey Rule. He's going to turn it back to McGing. De Oliveira. The lapping run was off and away from Chimenti, but he's had his pocket picked by Dyer. And now the deflection falls kindly for Farias. So he pops it out to the wing. France. The acceleration here. He can't get past Rose, who would know his game inside out. Teammates for a number of seasons until only recently. Switch of flanks over to Nakano. Rule to Wells. Back to Bailey Rule. A good run here. Rule full speed. And it affected the cross. He was just blazing away there. It's going to be retrieved by Nakano on the opposite side. He puts it into the near post, and high clearance, not decisively away by any means. Lancaster able to find the ball. Marshall Witt bumped into by Jennings. Jennings running laterally. Middleton, another shallow clearance. This time Jennings gets a sighter, and it's a fingertip save by Zavadinos. Leroy Jennings able to put the shot on target. Just buzzing around in the pocket, and as soon as he received the ball, he was able to fashion a shot, and it's taken a good save to deny him. And already, the corner count is skewed in Sydney United's favour. Wells into the near post and headed back out for another corner kick, and that one wasn't really bringing any of his teammates into play, so he almost gets an extra here, a little bonus to try and put one on the money. Players congregated at the near post. Wells looking for Vlastelica at the far post, and he got up for the header, but he couldn't put it on the target. He was able to climb above Glassen well, and he did win the first header, but he couldn't get it back on the goal frame, and out it goes across the face for a goal kick, but that is arguably the best chance of the game so far for Sydney United. Off the back of Jennings stinging the fingertips of the goalkeeper. There's Jared Middleton working with Farias. Farias with a long ball. Vlastelica under the header. Second ball there to be won, but it reared up off the synthetic over the head of Glassen. Nakano back to his keeper. Pavlicic had to be brisk as he got it away. Centre forward play from Chimenti. And the ball breaks forward with a ricochet off Carlos de Oliveira. Not too far down to the goalkeeper. Lancaster plays the ball to Marshall Witt. He goes to the ground, and Nakano has fouled him in the eyes of the referee. Dyer working with Lancaster. Finds a way to De Oliveira. He sweeps it out to the right. Wells can go to work here against Middleton. A low ball. Chimenti unable to lunge after it. It's cleared away in the nick of time by Dyer. Looking dangerous down the flank of Mason Wells. And on this occasion, Dyer is going to come across and deny him the ball. Glasson's a lone hand here. Just him in the United defence. Able to beat the first of those defenders, the back-tracking Rose, who was able to take the ball cleanly off his feet. Vlastelica switching out to the right. And Wells was just able to legally nudge his opponent under the ball, and now he tries to go round one. Round two, he's lagged. And legally so. The back-tracking Milliner did it legally. Oh, big moment, but Miles Milliner is able to recover from being danced around by Mason Wells initially. Now Sydney FC in the blink of an eye at the other end. Rose holding off his marker. You saw the shirt stretching, but the referee wasn't coming to his aid. This duel between Mason Wells and Miles Milliner, the Australia under-17 international, over on the right side of Sydney United's attack and the left side of Sydney FC's defence, has been the story of the game through the first 20 minutes. Wells, who definitely has his admirers at NPL level, believing that he should be already in the A-League system, against Milliner, who no doubt has a bright future. You see a foul here by Lancaster on Vlastelica. Vlastelica wants his midfield to present for the ball. Jennings was his outlet, but a loose first touch. Lancaster tried to thread through Glasson, but just kept skimming along. It was easily collected by Pavlicic to the edge of his penalty area. Licano. Jennings. Errant pass. First minute from Leroy Jennings. No chance coming from the sideline though. Miro Vlastelica, Sydney United coach. Pete Camp, as per, just standing at the edge of the box watching rather than talking. Here's Tay Headley picking a gap, not able to keep the attack moving. Bailey Rule stepping into claim. And now Nakano. Jennings. To Vlastelica, he sweeps his left foot through the ball, but there's only Chimenti up top at the moment. Dyer, ahead of Lancaster, back to Farias. And Lancaster confronted by Jennings. Excellent play there. And now Chimenti can break into the box. And that's a pinpoint tackle from Farias to nick in from behind and extract the ball the way he did. Long ball, McGing rising to the header. And the referee said too much of a nudge there from Glasson. As McGing leapt for the ball, just nudged him. And that was enough to reach the threshold of a foul. So that pass forward from Jennings was immediately back on the money, almost sending Chimenti away. He's going to take that position wide on the left. Mason Wells wide on the right. Chimenti up top with Oliveira, the playmaking number 10, from the back of his shirt and in terms of his role, running in behind. Here is De Oliveira now trying to lead the press against Farias. To Marshall with for a first time pass, got nothing but fresh air, and so here comes De Oliveira. That's the pass to Wells. Wells knew that Bailey Rule was storming through on the right. Rule back to De Oliveira, who started the move. And a little chop step on the ball, but he can't backheel it forcefully enough to find a teammate. Away comes Sydney FC. Glasson waiting for support in the form of Marin France. France over to Marshall Witt. Away goes Lancaster. Tay Headley now. Well, we've got no signalling to the bench here for a sub, so there might be an injury concern for Lockie Middleton. He was twirling the fingers, as the physios so often do, when it's time for a play to come off. So he doesn't appear to be obviously favouring anything, but watch this space at the next break in play. The sub is ready. In the meantime, here's a chance for Headley, and it's just across the face to the right. He's able to break through and put Sydney FC's first shot almost on target, just wide. So, fourth official is flipping over the numbers here. Assistant coach James Slaveski is standing next to the fourth official here, getting that sub ready. Maybe one more phase of play for Middleton, but clearly something's going amiss, and he is going to have to take his leave out of central midfield. One more phase of play for now, though. Here's Vlastelica trying to step up into said midfield. His pass is blocked. Here's Headley, who had the chance of maybe to go. 3 goals this season for Tay Headley. France cleverly over on the wing. Diagonal ball is going to be deflected kindly to Milliner. He chops across over to Marshall Witt. Defence now set behind the ball. Headley working with Marshall Witt. Marin France. A little darting first step, and he's weaving here. France blocked away by Rose. Put it on the chest. He's going to have to take the sting out of the shot. The play coming on is going to be last week's hero, Dion Negro. He'll be up at the next break and play. The ball just won't go out for Sydney FC here, and second ball is on for Jennings. He can push it through the left. Nakano saw the opportunity to burst forward. Koya Nakano with a cross, teasingly through the 6-yard box, but it did not get a touch from Chimenti or from Jennings, and out it goes for a goal kick, agonising there. And so this substitution is going to take place. And so not quite at the 26-minute mark. It's game over for Lockie Middleton. And on comes in the number 24 shirt, Dion Negro, fresh off scoring the match winner away to Wollongong last weekend. So he brings form and confidence out onto the pitch. But seemingly a forced change for Sydney FC. Just over a quarter of the way through the night's action. Marshall Witt is going to chase it down and loop it to the back post. Excellent defending, brave defending from McGing, and he's been clattered into the post. And Mitch Glasson, who was contesting with him in the air, is immediately apologetic, and the physio has been called out instantly here because that looked like a serious collision, head into the post. And so the physio is out to treat Liam McGing. Watching back on the stream, and it was an aerial duel, and just a little shove from Glasson had McGing tumbling, and he went face first, really, at least from what we can see, both on the naked eye and also on the stream, into the post. So hopefully he's okay. There hasn't been something significant to hurt him here. Brave defending from McGing. He's certainly paid a physical price here. He's sat up. That's good news. Mira Vlastelica has gone wandering almost all the way down to the opposite corner, just so he can get a little bit closer in terms of having a look at the trainer attending to Liam McGing here. All the Sydney FC or Sydney United subs are standing in close proximity, but there you go. Liam McGing, he's a tough customer, and he's back up, so relief. We aren't looking at a serious head injury. Corner taken short. It's 11 versus 10 in the meantime. Sydney FC trying to get a second chance here while they've got a man advantage. Volleyed away by Rose. Logging back on. So 11 versus 11 restore. The ball's heading in his direction, but it's not allowed to arrive by Vlastelica, who wins the initial header and then wrestles it clear at ground level. Zanic plays it to De Oliveira. The counter-attack is on. Can the speedsters break here for United? Right, De Oliveira ushered away. Good team defence. Negro combining with Dyer. He just pops the pass down the sideline. It's not quite going to find its way out. There's not enough juice on the ball. So out comes Pavlicic to retrieve it. And here's the ball back at the feet of McGinn. End-to-end stuff as Sydney United ventured through the right this time, but it's going to just bend away from Chimenti out for a Sydney FC throw at left back as they see. Low pass finds Tay Headley. Tackle in midfield. Rule. Milliner. Good footwork. He finds Lancaster. Now Marshall Witt. Middleton. And from this point forward, Middleton is Jared. The brother has left the game, so continues. Here's Lancaster. High ball, long ball, and a hopeful ball for Glasson. He's not going to be able to chase it down before Rose here. A lone hand on top of the attack at the moment. Wells taking a brief trip over to the left flank, and as though he and Leroy Jennings have done a winger swap here. So at the half-hour mark, Sydney United have swapped their wingers. Here's the centre forward, Chimenti. Zanic. Nakano fouls Headley. The game slows down to walking pace here. Vlastelica throws it over to McGinn. De Oliveira. Chimenti. Taken off his feet by Middleton. Marshall Witt confronted by Wells. He's repping himself there. He went to ground, and now the whistle comes for a handball against Caleb Marshall Witt. He couldn't sell it to the central referee. So Sydney United no thoughts of bringing players forward for a set piece. They're going to play the ball quickly instead. Jennings tried to knock it to his own advantage, but Lancaster was in the road. Headed back into the path of Zanic. Now Rhodes. Here's Vlastelica. There, roaming, trying to find a way through the Sydney FC defence. Nakano. Not convincing, but territorially at least. Sydney United remain in attack, but every pass is pressured at the moment. It's a stifled build-up here. Ball is eventually cleared away by Sam Lancaster. Down the right side. Things clean up a little bit here. Flow to the game at the moment. It's quite congested, the battling between these two teams. Reflective of why Joe Oliveira is roaming the way he is. Rose. Nakano. As well. He plays the ball back to Nakano. Jennings. Well played by Leroy Jennings. Leaves the ball with Rule. Sydney, set defence. Rule trying to dart out to the right. It does send it across, but it's too close to the post. Easily held by Zavadinos, who roundhouse kicks the ball long. Possession straight back. Nakano. Headley. Knee break. He's got Glasson ahead of the ball. Glasson takes a tumble. Headley. Zanic snapping at his heels. The ball slides out. So the attack broke down there. Sydney FC definitely not winning too many numbers forward, and when that is the case, the execution has to be spot on. It hasn't been at the moment. Ball here. Jennings looking to stretch the game over on the right. He brings Milliner over to the sideline. And Milliner has done well to win himself a throw in. Sweeping back past the Pavlicic. He's meandering at the moment. He can win the arm wrestle. Took until the last minute. City United Sports Centre back in round 6 to find the only goal of the game, and it seems as though these two are just a bit too evenly matched. Another 15 weeks on here. Nakano. Zanic. Wells. 1-2 between Zanic and Nakano. McGing. Russellitzer allowed to drift forward. Here's the run of Jennings. And Jennings trying to turn, immediately closed down by Milliner. He's on to Wells in a flash too. Pass is intercepted though. Nakano. Wells. To Jennings. Dylan Rhodes. Sydney FC to just keep United out for now. Vlastelica with an overhead pass and will allow Sydney FC to exhale. Certainly being beaten in the territory battle at the moment, in possession too. But Sydney United are not turning it into meaningful chances at present. They are being frustrated. They are being stifled by Sydney FC. We've seen other big teams come here to Rockdale and have the same experience. Think back to earlier in the season, round 4, when Marconi came here and lost 1-0. When they met at Marconi Stadium later in the season, round 19, held to a 0-0 draw by Sydney FC. So no doubt the Sky Blues know how to defend. They know how to defend against the league's top teams. Putting up a sturdy rear guard here at the moment. The question is, can they make it to half-time? Can Sydney United find the spark, the variety that they need to be able to break through? Just the lightest of one shower is now falling here into the Sports Centre. Not a breath of wind. You can barely see the rain coming down. It's barely a mist at the moment. If nothing else, it'll keep the pitch quite slick. Switch of flanks over to Jennings. Back to Rule. Rule, Carlos de Oliveira. Dylan Rose. Lastalitza waits for the ball along with his preferred left side. Lifts it towards Chimenti. Outpointed by Farias. Azanic following up. Sides against a long shot. Feeds it out to the right. De Oliveira looking to accelerate. And he's totaled at the edge of the box. And Middleton brought him down for a free kick right at the paint of the penalty area. So it'll be a free kick that might be perfect here for Mason Wells' left foot. Their open play has not led to a great deal for Sydney United. Maybe a free kick will prove to their liking. And just starting to fall ever so slightly heavier here at the Linden Sports Centre. Carlos de Oliveira is the right-footed option here, but surely it will just be Mason Wells. 2 in the wall. You do fancy Wells, even on this acute angle, to go direct on target. Zavadinos happy with his defensive wall. Big moment here in the first half. It's Mason Wells. And he whips it in, and Zavadinos with a full-length dive is able to parry it away, and he finds a teammate as he does so. And that will deflect out for a goal kick. So well dealt with by Alexander Zavadinos there, the goalkeeper. Had a clear line of sight to the free kick. It was on target. It required a save. And he did exactly that. Kick on this occasion. Zanic working with Rose. Rose out to Jennings on the right. Jennings. It's not a cross nor a shot in the end. Just a lofted ball that didn't really threaten the target. Real pretensions of any attacking at the moment. It's United who are trying to find a shift of gears. They can't at the moment. Sydney FC might be full-time defending at present, but largely on their terms. Here's Jennings trying to change all that into the near post. Oh, and Chimenti overran the ball. And then arriving a little late was Wells, and it split the two of them. A great cross. But neither of the attackers able to apply the finishing touch in the middle. Hooked away by Negros. Headley. Lastalitza. Up for the ball. Farias. Absolutely no hurry to restart play here. Wells header. Negro, Headley. Ball sits up for a volley on, but straight to Rule, and now Rose. Oliveira. Lifting a pass. And Chimenti, oh, it's off the underside of the bar. How on earth did that stay out? He connected with the cross, headed it into the woodwork, it ricocheted back into him, and somehow looped out. And to make it look even more spectacular, he then went running into the post, the goal frame was shaking, and of all things, the ball just refused to go in. And watching that back on the stream, that is extraordinary. Well, it's a unique highlight. It's not the one Sydney United want, but you'll be hard-pressed to see that replicated anywhere in the NPL again this season. We're ticking to 1 minute of additional time at the end of the half. United will feel as though they should be in front. Mason Wells, can he make Chimenti's miss a moment ago a moot point? Nakano, Farias committed and went to ground. Koya Nakano pops it up. And defensive header away by Middleton. De Oliveira chasing. And in comes France to clear the ball away. Can Sydney FC make it to half-time? Is the clock going to beat Sydney United here? That's a hard one, headed by Middleton. And the referee whistles for half-time. Well, a first half that reached no great heights and still finished with an extraordinary highlight, but certainly not for the right reasons for Sydney United or Kyle Chimenti. An extraordinary miss to head the ball into the underside of the crossbar, and then it ricocheted back into him and looped out. You don't see that every day. In fact, you probably don't see that every season. But it does mean at half-time here at Rockdale, the score is 0-0 at the break. Sydney FC and Sydney United deadlocked at present. We're off to a short interlude. You'll have the stream up with stats and highlights during the halftime break. And when live descriptions resume, we will pick things back up here in round 21 with Sydney FC 0, drawing with Sydney United 0.
Just lofted back to Sinnott. Sinnott had to be alert. And now Sinnott could be a loose touch. Shoiki might have pressured him, and now is a chance. And there's the goal for Danny Choi. Shoeki deserves a lot of credit for the pressure there. That's a great ball by Olsen to Choi. He's away here. Danny Choi tucks it away and double Sutherland's lead. What a ball from Nicholas Olsen. Choi definitely onside. Time to run perfect. Might have lost out here. And it's 3 forwards. Play through to Olsen, left side of the box. He has support in the middle. Rolls it across. Shots there. And it's 3-0. So it's going to be 3 goals and 3 points for Sutherland Sharks.
That's at George City. Harry McCarthy's at Rockdale Illingdon, and Ben Cooper's on the bench tonight. Well, that's a good ball. Neuenhoff opens the scoring. Gorgeous bit of interplay down the left. The attack alive. Can he find the cutting pass? O'Shea close in attention. Pires' header sneaks in at the near post, and they do have a second.
Van der Sarg, of a short run-up, is able to put it in the bottom left corner, and Rockdale have the opening goal. Really clever flick on from Elliott. Skatardis squares it. And now advancing is Speranza. A low shot parried into the path of Chalakian, and Rockdale have scored twice. Here comes the free kick from Chalakian, and a glancing header is a good one, and Van der Sarg has a double. The right flank, Constable whips it in, and if the flag stays down, that is 4. And amidst the appeals from the Olympic defenders, Moody Najjar has a
position. Curry with the left foot floats the ball in towards the penalty spot. Tef is there, can't quite get it. Pedersen, shot, goal! A beautiful strike.
Rose looking for Nakano. Great touch from Nakano. Finds Krislovic. Leroy Jennings finds the bottom corner with what was probably his first touch of the game.
Zavadinos playing games with Yamamura, who calmly slots it into the left of the goal to give the Wolves the lead. Jared Middleton, and now here is Marion France. Makes a bit of space, and it's a good ball in. Solski gets a touch on it, but it's headed in. Scott, lovely pass. Mashivecchio's in, and that is a super finish. And the Wolves have re-established their lead. Touch. Blocked by Kenai Zumi. Dax Kelly's clearance. It's still on here for Sydney. It's blocked. Tay Headley's there, and it is rammed into the goal. And a valuable 3 points it would be, with both looking towards the opportunity of finals football, and it is an absolute belter.
But they'll very much be hoping to get something out of this as they work a good angle here as it's pulled across the face and fired home. Blacktown draw first blood. Pass, it's Stewart again, pulled back towards Ortiz, spins, shoots, scores. It's Presley Ortiz again. Helps it on towards Stewart. Swung in towards Cottestavo! And Jordan now looks to go through the gears. Good delivery from Rory Jordan. It's Ortiz!
To match the pressure they've had. Meyer, another ball, back post, and it's going to be an own goal. Not how UNSW wanted to defend it, and Marcotti.
Test. Go.
Test 1 2. Test. Test 1 2. Test 1 2. Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Welcome back to the Rockdale Linden Sports Centre. We're at half-time of this round 21 fixture in NPL Men's New South Wales. It is scoreless between Sydney FC and Sydney United, exactly as it was back in round 6 at the halfway point. That day, Sydney United would grab a late goal to win 1-0. And in truth, they really should be in front here at half-time of this contest. Header into the crossbar right at the end of the first half from Kyle Chimenti. Somehow means this game is still deadlocked, and we're back underway at the start of the second half. There was one forced change in the first half. Lockie Middleton had to come off, and Dion Negro came on for Sydney FC. It looks as though both teams that walked into the rooms at half-time, though, are unchanged here at the start of the second 45. So we'll run through them for you. Sydney FC, Alexander Zavadinos on the ball here in goal. Jared Middleton stay with play, nearly giving possession away. And indeed he does. Ozanic able to deflect it kindly. Recap who's on the pitch and the bench in just a moment, because the build-up continues now for the visiting Sydney United team. Adrian Vlastelica. And now Koya Nakano down the sideline. The wingers have stayed swapped from the half-hour mark. Mason Wells on the left and Leroy Jennings on the right. Here is Vlastelica, a sweeping left-footed ball. It just drifts enough for Dyer. And now Milliner to get across. Aerial back and forth, and Farias heads into the gloves of his goalkeeper. So Zavadinos in goal for Sydney FC. Centre-backs are Ethan Dyer and Reef Farias. Right back, Caelan Marshall-Witt. Left back is Miles Milliner. In midfield at the moment, Dion Negro, Samuel Lancaster, and also Jared Middleton. So we see the ball extracted by Lancaster here. He's looking for the run of Mitch Glasson, and he is going to chase it down in the corner. Negro back to Farias. So the front three for Sydney FC is Mitch Glasson at the centre of the attack. Now in France, McGing heads away. And also Tay Headley in the number 10 position. So that's the Sydney FC lineup. They have made one forced change. Dion Negro coming on for Lockie Middleton. On the bench, remaining subs for Sydney FC tonight. Here's a youthful substitutes bench for the home side. Zach Fowler, Junior Conde, Jared Williams, Tyler Williams, and Zinedine Adansia. Sydney United's team, Adam Pavlicic in goal. Bailey Rule at right back, Koya Nakano left back, Adrian Vlastelica and Liam McGing the centre backs. Dylan Rose in front of them in midfield alongside Thomas Lavazanic and Carlos de Oliveira, the roaming playmaker. He is nominally the number 10, but he's gone wherever the game needs him as per. And then the front three, Kyle Chimenti up top. And at the moment, it's Leroy Jennings on the right and Mason Wells on the left. And we might see all of them engaged here, because sweeping forward to Sydney United. Here's Koya Nakano. He sizes up his options and now feeds the ball through to Mason Wells. The cut across, and Jennings was trying to improvise. The ball went past him at an awkward height. And now Ozanic grabbing and grappling. Doesn't want to commit a professional foul. We haven't seen a card in the game. It's been a well-behaved and a well-refereed game, it must be said, to this point of the night. Vicakovic, the referee, I'm impressed with him every time I see a game he refs. And so far, there hasn't been even a hint of spite or menace in the game, but the tension certainly might ramp up the longer it stays scoreless and the closer we get to the finish line. Here is Nakano. He's not able to slip past Tay Headley on this occasion and has to yield possession and give the ball away. did have some moments of end-to-end transitional football in the first half, but really did descend into a bit of an arm wrestle for the last 10 minutes of the half. With Sydney United largely on the attack, albeit not creating a high volume of chances, and Sydney FC camped behind the ball, just trying to frustrate. Staff really strangled the game. But they're looking a little bit more lively in an attacking sense here. Headley with a long shot. He popped that one off the boot and it just kept rising. And was never really a threat to the target. For those of you who were with us for the first half, I mentioned a light mist. It continues to fall. It has been for the best part of 20 to 25 minutes now, but certainly not noticeable. Very modest crowd here tonight. Not too many Sydney United fans making the trip across town. No doubt they'll be out in force midweek for the Cup final. Valentine Sports Park. We'll come back to that in a moment because McGing here has to just be aware of the presence of Glasson. Ball goes out. Both teams think it's theirs. Farias consolidates possession here. Just see there's an impetus from Sydney FC to keep the tempo up. That might suit United just fine. They want this to turn into a bit more of a slingshot, end-to-end sort of a game. Even if it does come with a bit of assumed risk. Milliner. Now Marin France, low ball, Tay Headley bumped off it. And the referee says a free kick against Tay Headley. He was still perhaps reaching in after losing possession there. Corey Nakano is the player on the end of the impact. But yes, the Waratah Cup final is Wednesday night at Valentine Sports Park. And just a reminder, no tickets at the gate. You have to pre-purchase. So if you are going to come along on Wednesday night to Valentine Sports Park to watch Sydney United against RPL Leichhardt as the record most times winner, 8-time champions Sydney United try to make it 9. Break even further away as the all-time cup winner. You have to buy your tickets on the web. So jump onto the Football New South Wales website, follow the social media networks. Of course, the game will be streamed, but we're going to have a crowd out at VSP for the Winter Classic on Wednesday. Here's a promising pass out to Wells on the left. He's going to first time it, and that's going to set up kindly for Farias. I don't think Chimenti was anticipating it, and Wells certainly didn't strike it perhaps the way he might have hoped. As the ball finds its way all the way back to Pavlicic. Here's Vlastelica. Nakano. Sydney FC advancing the press here, but Vlastelica, a veteran, deals with it just fine. Now wrestle is on for Zanic, and he's able to draw a free kick here. So a mid-range set-piece opportunity. In the first half, Sydney United were happy to play most of these quickly. They didn't have a string of corners which they weren't able to turn into a great deal. One header across the face from Vlastelica, perhaps the most noteworthy from any of the corner kicks. But no thoughts of long-range free kicks here. They're going to play it quickly and switch flanks immediately. Jennings, De Oliveira, he goes to ground with a little bit of aid from Middleton. No thoughts of a foul. Dion Negro, the first half sub, plays the ball into a contest. Wells showing his close control to spin away from Glasson. Now McGing. McGing's pass. Jennings. He was held, but Play continues. Jennings, can he find a burst here? Milliner, that's really physical one-on-one defending. No let up from Miles Milliner. And now Jennings, he's still got the ball glued to his feet though. Eventually plays the pass. Full-blooded challenge coming in from Bailey Rule. The right back had pushed up the pitch, or Nakano jumped the pass. Able to intercept it. Plays it back to Azanic. And Azanic to Chimenti. Chimenti with a turn and shoot. It's blocked immediately by Dyer. Nakano squeezed into a gap. Ozanic, and he can't return the favour, but he gets a second chance here. Nakano sweeping cross and catching practice for Zavadinos between the sticks. Trying to turn up the heat here, but Sydney FC are matching it. Here's Lancaster. Headley turns away from Dylan Rose. Now Marin France. Litzer lunges into the header. Wells. Rose. Now to Oliveira. Back to Azanic. The midfield is getting a touch for Sydney United. Rule working with Jennings. He underhit the return pass on the overlap, so is able to bring it under control. Lancaster sends it forward, but McGing, Glasson trapped. Tay Headley. Farias has got to be careful here. United hunting the ball. Mason Wells able to win it away. Wells stepping at the edge of the box. A series of ricochets, and Itzakovic not reaching for the whistle. So the attack breaks down. Nakano lunges in to intercept. And Azanic. Bailey Rule has got a little bit of space to exploit here. Rule takes the game on here. Bailey Rule stops and props. The cutback. Jennings leaves it. Azanic following up and seeing it all the way. Zavadinos. He holds it against the chest. Azanic was lined up for him, but he went for the control of a side foot rather than put the laces through it and really blaze away. It is a better game here in the second half than the struggle we had in the first, it must be said. Feels like a goal is coming. Didn't always feel like that in the first half, so the contest is coming to life. Opening game of round 21. Wells working with Nakano. Rule. He has been prominent in the game. He's advancing again here. He's going to shoot. Oh, and the technique nearly perfect. He tried to slice it in a way that would keep the goalkeeper guessing. He was running towards the bottom left corner on the diagonal, and he tried to slice it towards the bottom right. And it ended up spraying wide of the target. Good idea. Very nearly executed. So we're getting close to the hour mark, and we're about to see activity. Both teams' subs are warming up on the near touch line at the right of your screens. So the one forced to change in the game so far. Mason might have been lurking offside. He's back onside here though, and waiting for Tay Headley. He sends it out to Lancaster, a looping ball, and the letdown as it sails out for a goal kick. Iwata, such an important part of Sydney United's run. They had a long unbeaten streak to start the season. He's back on the bench, building minutes back into the legs. Oh, grab here. Dion Negro has scragged Thomas Lavozanic at the edge of the area. And are we about to see the first card of the game? It is a free kick, and it doesn't look like it's going to be more. But the set piece will be dangerous enough because, again, it is Mason Wells territory. So we are perfectly behind this. In the first half, we saw Wells whip a free kick in, which Zavidinos was able to save, diving towards his near post. If anything, the angle is slightly less acute here, and the distance is more or less the same. Mason Wells. The goalkeeper is offering him the top right corner if he's good enough. Can he stick it there? Here comes the free kick. Wells looking for a teammate instead, and it's headed up and away to the edge of the box. De Oliveira with a roundhouse volley. And it looked promising initially, but it just lost momentum through the air. And it was held on to one grab in the end. Now, I mentioned there hadn't been any sort of chippiness in the game. And perhaps Bailey Rule is deciding that cooler heads should prevail here, because just when it looked like things between him and Glasson were about to spark up, he just ran away, calmed everything down. And now we are going to see the first card. And I think the referee, Vitsakovic, is seeing that the tension is starting to simmer. So Miles Milliner becomes the first player to pick up a booking. And it is another set-piece opportunity here for Sydney United. And it was for interfering with Leroy Jennings as he tried to make an off-the-ball run there. So Milliner will have to watch his step for the remainder of the game. I wonder if that might prompt a winger swap, if they might put Mason Wells back on the right wing to run at him now that he's on a card. And whether they will leave Jennings there to continue that matchup. That's for what comes after this set piece here. De Oliveira had the shot on target just a moment ago. Now can he pick out a teammate here? It's Carlos De Oliveira. Now swinging free kick, glance to the back post. And Chimenti arriving just half a step late. It was running through the penalty box. And across the face it goes and out. Well, clear cuts, half chances. They are starting to flow with a bit more regularity here, and Sydney FC are going to respond. And they're going to make a triple change. Corby Fowler in the number 9, Zinedine Aranzia in the number 15. And we're also going to see Tyler Williams coming on here. Mitch Glasson comes to the bench. So Corby Fowler goes to the point of the attack in the number 9 shirt. Zinedine Aranzia is wearing the number 15. It's number 37 in dribble, but I can tell you that he wore 15 last week away at Wollongong, so they must have found a better fitting shirt with a different number on it for the namesake of the great Zidane, Zinedine Aranzia. Tyler Williams is on in the number 34. So that's 4 subs now made by Sydney FC as well, having been forced into one in the first half. It was Glasson and Marin France who came off, and the card was enough for Miles Milliner to have his name called as well. Thoughts of leaving him out there on a ticket. Rose chasing the ball down here but can't retrieve it. So it also means Sydney FC have reorganised their formation here. And at times, against the big teams in particular, I say the big teams, the top teams on the ladder, they all happen to be big teams. They have not been afraid to play a back 5 this season. Perhaps they are thinking about a hard-earned point here already, because they are lining up with the back five now. Challenging Sydney United to break them down. Ball whipped in by Wells, and on one bounce, it flashes past Azanic and is held on to by Zavadinos. Fowler turns it back to Dyer. So it's a three centre-backs. Williams here on the ball, Dyer to his left and Farias to his right. And then further up the pitch, Marshall Witt over on the right. Looks as though Jared Middleton is slotted in as a bit more of a left wing back for now. Tallest left back in the league. Here's McGing. Followed away by Farias. Lancaster. Back to Adanzia. Bazanic. Running to the right sideline. Chimenti. Wells. He's dangerous here. And he went for a bending shot, but he sent it way wide, and it doesn't go to hook back towards the target. And the attack breaks down. Here's Farias. Got to be careful as he takes on Wells. Now Negro looking for the run of Fowler. Fresh legs off the bench here. Fowler, and he scores! End to end in the blink of an eye, and Sydney FC take the lead. Zach Fowler with a great finish. And Sydney United have been stung. Well, they've done little attacking in this game, Sydney FC. They set up with a back five after the triple substitution, but part of that triple sub was to bring on Zach Fowler, and he just timed his run perfectly to run onto the bouncing ball. He guided it past Pavlicic, and now they enjoy a lead that could have major ramifications, both for the title race and the top six. Fowler with just his second goal of the season. So now, with a 1-0 lead in pocket, already playing a back five, they might lock it down even further here, the home side, Sydney FC. Where Marconi have fallen here at Rockdale to the young Sky Blues, Sydney United might be on track to suffer a similar fate. It's goals in consecutive games for Fowler as well, so sparingly used in the first half of the campaign, slowly but surely building his minutes off the bench, and now really starting to grow into senior first grade football with goals in consecutive matches. What a return for the number 9. We'll get to what this does to the table in just a moment. A game which at times in the first half looked like it might have been meandering, but certainly a lot more intent in the game in the second half. This would leave Apia top on 48. Marconi second on 46. Sydney United third on 44. A massive 8 points clear of Rockdale in fourth, it must be said. It's a clear top three. There's a foul here would come to Sydney FC's aid, but it would leave them 4 points adrift of top, and with Apia to play later in the weekend. They host Rockdale on Sunday. Second place Marconi are at home to Blacktown City, so could be a situation where Apia Leichhardt break 7 points clear of Sydney United in first, and Marconi are able to open up a 5-point gap from second. as for Sydney FC, that goal pushes them into the top 6 at Sutherland's expense. They're up to 31 points now, just 1 goal difference behind Wollongong. So if they were to win by 2 clear goals tonight, they'll finish the night in 5th. For now, they are 6th on goal difference only. And Sutherland would therefore have to win their game away at UNSW tomorrow in order to jump back in. And we know that's a tough assignment at UNSW. Here come Sydney United looking for an equaliser. It's cleared away by Zavadinos. Danzia, McGing. I heard the flicking of the 4th official's board a moment ago. It's because Sydney United are preparing Gabriel Tillo to come on. The next cab off the rank. De Oliveira was looking for a foul and the referee is not forthcoming. Zanic wins the ball back off Dyer. Now De Oliveira. Pop to the edge of the box. Rule helping out the attack. Zanic. Oh, he's not able to run it down Bailey Rule. And the ball goes out for a goal kick. And that is going to prompt Sydney United's first change of the game. It's a double change. It looks as though it will be. The forward presence of Michael Krislovic is also going to come on here. So Krislovic in the number 19 shirt comes on for Kyle Chimenti. And Gabriel Tillo, the Australia Under-20 international, in the number 12 shirt, enters the game. Just scanning my eyes around to see who is replaced here. Yes, it's Mason Wells who's leaving the game on the outer side of the pitch. He hadn't quite got off the ground before both the subs enthusiastically came running on, thus the head count. But yes, it's Wells who leaves the game. Tillo, I should say, goes into the front 3. And Krislovic joins him. He's a towering presence, Krislovic up top. Can he provide the presence that Sydney United need to get back in the game? Tillo looking to engage with Azanic straight away. The ball is cleared out by Middleton. Here's Tillo. For Rule. Cross comes Lancaster. He's got help from Headley. The white rain, the mist, continues to fall here in Illingdon. It's not cool though, it's almost perfect conditions for football, it must be said. Barely a breath of wind. And the chase continues here. Krislovic, well, a big handful of shirt there from the defender. Maybe a little bit of a risk being taken by Tyler Williams, but Krislovic didn't go to ground. Did the referee think it was enough to merit a free kick, and it would have been a penalty even inside the box, but there has been a leniency that has aided the game. The appeals weren't too strenuous from Sydney United, it must be said. So more activity on the sidelines. Here comes Tomoki Wada. And this is big because he is the creative fulcrum, the talisman. He is a force multiplier for Carlos de Oliveira when they're on the pitch together. So Tomislav Azanic comes off and Tomoki Wada comes on. And this is big. He's going to get a good 25 minutes here. I wonder what sort of a role he'll be playing in the Cup final midweek. He immediately released de Oliveira to do more. In the meantime, Sydney FC are attacking and Reef Farias bombs away. Sends one for the ball kids to go and chase over on the warm-up pitch, because that was nowhere near the target. So Sydney United still have Nicholas Protezina, Anthony Krilich, and Anthony Tomalich as their outfield subs available to them, but they have now brought on 3 new faces. Sydney FC have already made 4 subs, so they've still got 1 more that they can activate should they need. Here's Tillo running to the edge of the box, but in his ability to swerve around Headley, he then offered up the ball to Middleton. Little pitch wedge from McGing into the box. It's going to sit up for De Oliveira. He went for the spectacular, sunk the left foot through the ball and nearly put it into the construction site behind the goal. Instead it bends away onto the hill. And now confusion reigns because I mentioned the ball kids behind the left of screen goal. There is 1 photographer and nothing behind the right of screen goal. So one brave soul will have to go and venture out onto the hill and go and retrieve that ball at some point. But for now, they'll have to go and grab one from the other side of the ground to get play restarted here. This will suit Sydney FC just fine. We have seen this before. They have been a more pragmatic team this season at times with regards to defending results and locking it down, especially against teams higher on the ladder. And they have set themselves for the challenge of defending a 1-0 lead to the finish line here. And you've got to respect that they can hit on the counter. It's how they scored the goal. Fowler tried to throw his weight around, but McGing thought nothing of it. Here's a pass, trying to release Tillo. Middleton hustling back. Tillo did trap the ball initially, but Middleton's right back in, and his long levers are able to come through and win the ball away, but then he's coughed up possession to Rourke. And he's perhaps fortunate that Lancaster's there to help him out. Tay Headley. Aranzia trying to dance through, has to retreat and turn back. Dion Negro. And handball, give it here against Dylan Rose. So, set-piece opportunity for Sydney FC. Tay Headley and Sam Lancaster. And it's the left-footed Lancaster. Gets up to Middleton. He's able to put the header down. Not sure it was even a shot on target or simply just a bouncing ball that Pavlicic was able to run out onto and collect. Tillo, he's brought the necessary spark off the bench here for Sydney United. Krislovic, who's legged by Williams. And it is a yellow card and a free kick at the edge of the box. Vincikovic had me guessing for a second there that he might have been about to book the striker for simulation, but no. Free kick and a booking. So Tyler Williams has his name taken, just the second yellow card of the game. But Mason Wells has now been subbed off, so this is going to be Carlos De Oliveira's ball, you suspect. Tomoki Wada and Koya Nakano are there having a bit of a conference with him. If Sydney United can equalise here, they will throw everything forward to try and grab a winner in the last 10 minutes. Miro Vlastelica has again gone for a wander, just to get a little bit closer. Trying to get a bird's eye view from the sideline, and now he crouches down, the Sydney United coach, to watch how things unfold. 4 in the wall. Alexander Zavadinos waits on the goal line. De Oliveira is leaving the scene. So will it be the left-footed Nakano or the right-footed Tomoki Wada? Side netting. Didn't quite have the bend on it. Right idea, going around rather than over the wall, but it needed a lot more whip in order to get back onto the target. comes up over on the outer side, and the free kick goes Sydney United's way. Here's Tillo. Middleton just guarding him, not letting him pass. Gets a foot in and then gets the ball away. One defending. Rose. Here's McGing. Wada. Headley. Middleton being ushered down towards the corner. Rose. De Oliveira. Plastelitza. Marshall Witt committed there. It nearly left side of attack unguarded. And through came the run of Jennings, but ultimately he couldn't keep the ball, and it's out for a goal kick. And that will take us into the final 10 minutes here at Rockdale. Opening game of round 21. And at the moment, it is Sydney FC jumping back into the top 6. And Sydney United potentially losing touch with the title race. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks as though the drizzle, not even drizzle, the mist has stopped and the rain has passed here for the last 10 minutes of the game. De Oliveira hands it to Jennings. Jennings waits for the overlapping run of Nakano, but ignores it. Goes to Tomoki Wada. Wada, crossfield ball. Tillo, tough pass to control on the synthetic. And it's cleared away by Middleton. Rose, incisive pass. Jennings having his arm held. No free kick, and I think he's right to look to the ref, but Sydney FC are breaking away. Here's the goal scorer, Zach Fowler, leading a counter-attack. He's going to, well, load up, and had stars in his eyes there, but he's hooked it wide left. So, another change coming up. Last of the night for Sydney FC. And Tay Headley will take his leave, take off the captain's armband and hand it over to Jared Middleton as he goes. Another busy night for Tay Headley, the creative attacking midfielder. And coming on is Junior Conde. So Fowler, the goal scorer, is now joined by Junior Conde. Now on the pitch, and he's slotted in midfield. Free kick. Set piece opportunity here for Sydney United. Carlos de Oliveira this time. Tomoki Wada took the last one on a more acute angle. This is a central position, a bit more distance. Can he find the dynamite in the boots here and draw Sydney United level? 4 in the wall. Tomoki Wada just trying to make a nuisance of himself here, blocking the goalkeeper's view as he tries to look through a gap in the wall. Carlos de Oliveira, can he make the chance count? Oh, it rears up off the wall. And it's going to be, well, batted out and then volleyed away for a throw-in. So, desperation to avoid conceding the corner there from Zavadinos, and he's done well. The wall able to deflect away Carlos de Oliveira's free kick. Tillo looking up at the most recent sub Conde. Here's Rose. curls it into the box, headed down by Marshall Witt. A chance now for Jennings, nicked away off his toes. De Oliveira, Wada lifts it up, Krislovic, and he watches it over his head and run down to the keeper. And even though he's got into a tangle here and given away a free kick, but even though he's a big unit, Krislovic, that pass was still over his head. And Zavadinos will just catch his breath and take his time here as he gets up to take the restart. And the clock is very much Sydney FC's friend now as they hold this 1-0 lead. Krislovic, show of strength, able to hold off Williams. Wada, Jennings. Drives a diagonal ball and it's headed away by Farias. McGinn follows up, Farias answers. Pass is deflected into the path of Jennings. Tiller. Given away here. Fowler. Can he take the game on? He's hard up against the line, always running out of real estate. So Sydney United have the ball back. They might have a lot of possession here in the run to the finish line. The question is, how many shots can they create? How many good shots? If they can equalise even now, they will have enough time to really go for the win. They're in chase mode. Sydney FC in lock it down mode. No pass perhaps. Better exemplifying it than that from Dion Negro. He just booted it away to open field. No interest in finding a teammate. Just clear the lines. Lasalitza switching over to Tillo. Tillo curves across but doesn't get the elevation on it. Away by Williams. Lasalitza receives the pass and plays it to Tomoki Wada. Rose. Wada. The rain has returned. Now it's about as heavy as it's been all night, so Sydney United wanted to rain down chances on Sydney FC's goal, but they are stuck. They are stuck in midfield stasis at the moment. And then now that they venture forward, Nakano scrambling, just trying to keep it in. That last phase of play, a really worrying one at this late stage of the night. That the creativity, the desperation, is it there? Can they find it? Even a draw would be something. Certainly, no doubt, Solomon Sharks will be watching on, and Wanderers, hoping for a Sydney United equaliser here, just to stop Sydney FC jumping back into the top six, jumping further away from a very clustered chasing pack. But they are getting closer and closer to the finish line here. Free kick, mid-ranger though, too far for a direct shot on goal. Lancaster's down, might just be a cramp. In the meantime, free kick taken quickly. De Oliveira volleys it, but it took a deflection and goes well wide, and the plaudits come for the desperate defending at the back post from Ethan Dyer to put it behind. So De Oliveira, Lancaster's back up after stretching out his cramp. Tillo receives the short corner. De Oliveira, a left-footed bender. He's put too much on it, and it will sail out for a goal kick. And the frustrations continue as we tick into the last minute of the 90. You wouldn't think there will be a huge amount of stoppage time here. The fourth official is flipping over 4 minutes on the board from what I can see, and he will raise that to the sky in about 40 seconds' time. Daniels taking every second the referee will afford him, and now drives it high and long. Rose returns a header. Farias is up. Williams gets to the ball. Rose. And Middleton lifts a left-footed volley high and out. So 5 minutes is the final decision. 5 additional minutes for Sydney United to chase an equaliser. Again, they find themselves trapped too far away for a shot. Edge of the attacking third, just circulating the ball. Where can they find the penetration, the incisiveness? Wada lifts the ball now, looking for Nakano. He goes to ground spectacularly, but he threw himself at it in that contest. He wasn't interfered with. Here's Jennings. Jennings back to Tomoki Wada. Wada guides a pass. Was there a grab of the shirt inside the box? Miro Vlastelitz has gone walkabout again. He's almost down at the edge of the area, over on the sidelines as he crouches down to watch on as his team continues to attack. De Oliveira. And Tillo left the ball behind, and it's well defended by Middleton to find the safety of the line. One of the additional 5 minutes has expired already. Rule. Vlastelitz and a flat pass that will run out. Thuds into the advertising boards behind the net. There's not a huge amount of chat going on. I mean, you can hear it coming through the effects microphone when the voices are raised, but these little down spells as we wait for play to restart. You can just see the emotions are not heightened at the moment. It's all about execution rather than digging into something mental now. Can they just get it right at the end of the night, Sydney United? Nakano. Rose. McGing, block tackle against the pressing Dyer. De Oliveira, Jennings, De Oliveira and Wada. Ball pinging around, but again, can they advance it to the edge of the box? Krislovic goes to ground. No free kick. Sydney FC defensive wall again resists at the edge of the penalty area. Bailey Rule. Vlastelitz lifts it up. Rule, and again, cleared comfortably. Fowler, braced for impact. Just trying to protect the ball here. It's a real tangle. And the assistant referee is flagging that it's a free kick, a throw-in, I should say, going Sydney United's way. 3 minutes of stoppage have ticked by. 2 to go. Sydney United running out of seconds to play with here. Vlastelitz. De Oliveira, he has a ping. It takes a big deflection and it lands on the roof of the net. It's out for a corner. Good idea from De Oliveira. And it took a big looping deflection. Zardanos watched it land on the roof of his net. A corner kick. No time wasted. Wada in swinger to the near post. Batted down. And cleared away by Farias. Rose was there, but Farias got to the ball first. De Oliveira's ball back in. Volleyed clear by Lancaster. Nakano to Wada. Tomoki Wada to Carlos De Oliveira. He's in space. He lets the ball run out to the right. Now he twists across back in. Bailey Rule is up. McGing. And the volley from Tillo. It's wide. It's wide and out for a goal kick. They had the numbers forward there, and it fell teasingly to Gabriel Tillo. He just hooked it, dragged the shot wide left, And now there's only 40 seconds of the allocated 5 minutes to go. Was that the last chance for Sydney United? Rose wins the header. Everything has to go right for United now. Ball down the wrong end as far as they're concerned. Fowler almost capitalises on a tumbling to ground McGing. 10 seconds of the 5 minutes to go. The clearance intercepted by Adanzia, and he's able to bunny hop over a challenge. Zinedine Adanzia holding the ball down in the corner. Stoppage time has expired. Sydney United extracting the ball. Can they go end to end? They can't. Sydney FC jump back into the top 6. And a title contender has fallen away to Sydney FC again. The same fate suffered by Marconi earlier in the season. Now it's Sydney United's turn, and they lose ground in the title race at the top of NPL Men's New South Wales. And the young Sky Blues Academy move back into the 6 and throw down the gauntlet to the chasing pack for the rest of the weekend. Substitute Zach Fowler came on and scored the goal in a blistering counter-attack, and a night of toil in midfield didn't have the cutting edge for Sydney United, and they are left to mull perhaps over a point-blank header into the crossbar from Kyle Chimenti in the first half, and how different the game could have been had they gone into the rooms with a 1-0 lead. Instead, they leave empty-handed. No goals. They'll have to do a bit of soul-searching before the Cup final midweek next week. Don't miss that on Wednesday the 1st out at Valentine Sports Park. Get your tickets, because there are no tickets at the gate. And enjoy the rest of the weekend in NPL Men's New South Wales. You can watch it right here where you've watched this game on the Football New South Wales YouTube channel. On behalf of our broadcast partner, Sportscast Australia, my name's Teo Pellizzeri. Good night from Rockdale, and we leave you with the full-time score. Sydney FC 1, Sydney United 58-0.
Take everything.